Hey everyone! Welcome to an extra special video here on the Meerkats from Mars SMP, where today I'm celebrating you guys, my 1,728 subscribers. What's so special about that number, you ask? Well, it just so happens that's the exact number of items you can fit into a shulker box. Now, yes, I am aware that people traditionally celebrate more conventional subscriber milestones. And I'll admit, the night I reached 1K subs felt pretty special. But those numbers always seemed arbitrary to me, and I figured if this is a Minecraft channel, we should celebrate Minecraft milestones. And at the time of recording, I officially have a shulker of subscribers. That is assuming you guys can stack up to 64. Hopefully it's not too cramped in there. And we might need some bundles, because it looks like a lot of you are name tagged, but I am getting off topic. And probably not for the last time, because I thought we could celebrate the Shulker subscriber special by writing the entire Meerkats from Mars railway network. Beginning to end, every line, every station, no cuts, no edits. And to be clear, we're talking like tens of kilometers of minecart railways. So I don't know exactly how long this is going to take, but rather than just sit in silence and do nothing, I'm going to answer the questions that you guys submitted on Discord. The Dingy Disco. Check it out. Link in the description. Unless I forgot. I will start with a question from Yard, who wrote on my Ask Me Anything. Hi, Dingy. Hi, Yard. I would be very interested to know how the subway works on your server. I'm interested in the mechanisms of how the player moves from point A to point B with such a confusing system. So the short answer is that people do get lost and confused. And the long answer can already be found in my Ask Me Anything, where I've got screenshots of the redstone underneath if you want to check that out. Dingy Disco, link in the description. Come on by. I'll quickly show off some of the stuff on camera, though, just in case it helps and you want to pause to see it, because showing is often better than telling. But yeah, basically the way it works is you hop in the minecart and once you reach your stop, you click a note block and it ejects you at the station. Yeah, otherwise everything is fully automated. There's 3 types of mechanisms involved. One is the arrival gate. As you arrive at the station, there's an activator rail that ejects the player. Then I use a soul sand trick to pull the minecart under the floor, where it breaks on a cactus and gets stored in the departure gate, which is the second mechanism. I didn't actually come up with the departure gate design. I saw it in a video shortly after 1.14, whenever target blocks came out. A minecart is dispensed onto a power rail, which is bud powered, or I guess bud unpowered. Like basically the rail is powered, but until it gets a block update, it thinks that it's turned off. So there's an empty minecart sitting and it doesn't go anywhere. But then when a player gets into the minecart, it collides with a string and that updates the rail and the minecart gets sent off down the tracks. The third mechanism is a stop request. As you approach the station, you set off some observers facing each other and they flash the tracks on and off over and over again. That keeps you moving forward, but it slows you down. So you have more time to like hit the note block if you want to stop. When you hit the note block, it switches a rail junction and sends you toward the station. And I guess, yeah, if you don't want to stop, you don't do anything. You just sit there. The minecart will continue forward after a few seconds. Now, I've picked a route that should take us through all the lines and stations as seamlessly as possible. But there are a few dead ends, so we're going to do a tiny bit of backtracking. And at one point, I am going to have to use my elytra because there's a bit of a gap. So, yeah, don't worry if I suddenly get off the tracks and start flying around. We're not done yet. There's still a little bit more to go. And as a heads up, there's also a few sections that are functional but haven't been decorated yet. So, there's not too many, but yeah, keep an eye out for that. To give you guys a sense of where we are in the system, I'll probably put an overlay or something of where we are as we travel along. Hopefully that's not too much work. So, sorry, editing Dingy. You've got to do it now. There's no cuts in this video, so I can't just edit out my empty promises like usual. All right. Another fun fact, the subway is built at y = 45. This is literally just because this central area is 1.17 world gen, and I needed so much copper to build the roof of my chateau base. So I just figured, I could strip mine back and forth under my base, or I could just mine out these tunnels in a straight line and like connect everything, and then I'll just put like tracks down later. So these are basically like my strip mines, but they're just cleaned up. I should point out, by the way, I'm not the only one who worked on this network. Like there's entire sections later. You'll see some dinosaurs, Explorers Bay, the whole blue line so far. The Eastmas station and tunnel, those were all built by Henners. And Joe Zim as the one who built the above ground railway. We'll see at the end. Even for the sections that I built, like I've had so much help from the other Meerkats, like helping me dig tunnels, giving me building materials, helping me decorate. But yeah, I definitely built a lot of the stations and tunnels that we'll pass through today. But this isn't a solo project by any definition. Like it was only possible because everyone's chipped in one way or another. I didn't want you to think that this is all me. But yeah, we're officially on our way, and I think it's time to answer a different question. From now on, all these other questions were submitted specifically for this event, so hopefully it'll be all new information. Like even if you're caught up on my Discord, Dingy Disco, seamless plug. Yeah, our first questions come from Chiefs Lolpants. Some of you may know Chiefs from his critically acclaimed portrayal of Whistling Bird Number 2 in The End of Narrow It Down. I know him as my former roommate. Chiefs wants to know, what is your favorite train? That's the Eurostar, baby. I should explain. That answer might surprise some of you because my username is, like Dingyfried, is a quote from a train. Thomas the Tank Engine character called Percy, who at one point tries and fails to say the word dignified. And generally speaking, I do think steam trains are the best trains. They look so cool. And Percy is a pretty cool little cargo shunter, blue collar worker. Number 6 is practically a Toronto reference. What's not to love? And yeah, it's no accident, my skin matches his color scheme. So, red base, green coat, gold details. Yeah, I'm still ride or die Eurostar. It used to blast through my hometown on its way to France. And even when I was like 2 or 3 years old, I already had its schedule fully memorized so I could watch it from the bridge. I actually, by the way, I did spam proof these note blocks so you can just, you can hit them as many times as you want. That, by the way, on a server, very important. And I want to be clear, by the way, there's no real versus fictional technicalities here. TV Thomas, real world Thomas, doesn't matter. Eurostar's better. Black, white, gold, speed, Eurostar. Yeah, next question. What is your favorite... okay, that's twice in a row now, Chiefs. You spent 5 minutes living in America. You've already dropped all your U's from favorite. What is your favorite train route you've taken? Well, if the one I'm on right now doesn't count, then I'll say Durham, England to Edinburgh, Scotland. Coastal views, castles galore, and great fish and chips at either end. Obviously, Eurostar from London to Paris, very close second place, but... and you might not agree this is fair, but I was very young when I wrote it, and I thought you'd be able to see fish and stuff out the windows when you go under the English Channel. So I am deducting a few points for that disappointment. Next question. When did you learn how to sail? Aha, yes. For those that don't know, I do a lot of sailing. I started learning how to sail after I moved to Canada. I went to a sailing summer camp, and I instantly fell in love with it. And yeah, I don't sail as much as I want anymore, but I definitely sail as much as I can. Specifically, I'm talking about dinghy sailing, by the way. Dinghy with an H. So like lasers, 420s, little boats that they come apart and you can lift them out of the water when you're done. Nothing against yacht sailing or anything. I just, I don't have one. If you do live on the Great Lakes and you need help sailing your yacht, hit me up. But yeah, I already mentioned, by the way, that my name is a Thomas Tank Engine quote. But a big reason why I chose that particular quote instead of a different quote is that Dingyfried also captures my love of dinghy sailing. And that's why my player wears sailing gloves. These, fingerless black gloves. All right, how long did you teach sailing for? Probably not as long as it feels like. By the end, probably like 2 or 3 summers, I think. I was a volunteer instructor for a really long time, though, before I turned 16, which is when you're old enough to be legally employed. All right, great questions from Chiefs. Thanks, man. All right, who's next? Edie! Hi, Edie! Everyone go check out Edie's channel if you haven't already. After you finish this video, of course. I need those watch hours. All right, Edie says, who are the most influential people in your life? Okay, well, Ringo Starr narrated Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't think that counts, though. But for real, I want to say, like, all my music teachers' names, but I'll say Sandy Chenery. He was my first piano teacher, I think from before I was even old enough to go to school. And yeah, I'd go to his house for lessons, which might sound pretty standard at first, but he happened to live inside Windsor Castle, as in like the Queen's house in England. And so every week I'd roll up to the Horseshoe Cloister for my piano lessons, and those royal guards with the big hats would have to let me through. Who else? Madame Latour. Again, I want to say like all my science and math teachers, but yeah, Madame Latour. She was my math teacher back in French school. I was getting okay grades in her class, and she was like, "No, inacceptable. You could be getting great grades." And then, yeah, she forced me to take all these extra math classes before school and at lunch, and she signed me up for these like provincial math contests and stuff. And I was really sour about it at the time, but she was right, and my grades went up. Yeah, and more importantly, it gave me a lot of confidence in STEM subjects, and I didn't really have any confidence before that. So, yeah, who knows if I'd have been an engineer if it weren't for her. Yeah, I mean, it's not often that a teacher like pushes a student like that unless they're on the cusp of failing or something. But she made the effort, and it had a huge impact, and I appreciated it. Adie asks, if you could invite 5 people to dinner to talk about anything, who would they be, dead or alive? Probably alive. No, I'm just kidding. That's tricky. Because you can't just like pick someone with amazing achievements. They also have to be like pleasant to talk to. And like I'm like so tempted to say a pharaoh or a caveman or something, but they need a translator, and like I don't know if that's worth 2 seats. Okay, I'm overthinking it. Here goes. Amelia Earhart, Amy Poehler. These are just names, but honestly, they'd be great. Radhanath Sikdar. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name. First man to put 2 feet on top of Mount Everest. Sorry, not literally. That's a surveying joke. He's a mathematician, led a pretty cool life. You know what? Madame Latour can come. I want to catch up, and I think she'd get along well with Radhanath. And how many is that for my grandfather? Why not? Which superpowers would you want? Teleportation for sure. I've got a lot of family and friends scattered all over the world. And, you know, things like, you know, Minecraft servers and FaceTime, they're really great for catching up. But at the end of the day, they're like a nicotine patch for the real thing. Yeah, I would just like pop over to Europe and like have lunch with my aunt and uncle and go roller skating with Soga and stuff. Maybe hit up Australia for breakfast for dinner with Connor, because, you know, time zones. But yeah, I'm also super forgetful, so every time I left a jacket somewhere or forgot my charger at home, I could just pop back and get it without any hassle. Next question. If you had the power to either freeze time or go back 5 minutes, which would you choose? Okay, well, if you hadn't already guessed my last answer, I have like crazy bad ADHD. So, I basically already have the power to freeze time and travel weeks into the future in the blink of an eye. So I'll say go back 5 minutes, to complete the set. What would you be doing if you had $10 billion? Okay, this is gonna sound super cheesy, but it's genuinely, I honestly think the same. I'm pretty happy with my current life. I like my day job for the most part. I don't know, maybe I'd work fewer days per week or something, but I'd want to be doing something to keep busy. I also don't like living in big houses. I think they're really creepy. That's probably why, even though I have my whole like castle on this server, I still live in like my cramped little starter cave basement thing. I would probably get my own car, because right now I share with others. Nothing flashy, like maybe like a high rail pickup truck, because then I can ride it on train tracks as well. Actually, wait, was it 10 million? Oh, $10 billion. Okay, wow, yikes. Yeah, screw that. I'm getting my own steam train. Yeah, like back in Windsor, the Queen always had her steam train out on display at the station, and I don't know, I just thought that was such a baller move. So, yeah, final answer, I'd pay off the Meerkat server fees, maybe spring for a better entity render distance, buy a steam train, a few carriages for the steam train, and I don't need the rest. All right, thank you, Edie, for those great questions. Once again, remember to go check out his channel after watching this video. All right, these next questions come from another YouTuber, Alpine. Alpine says, what kind of videos do you plan to make in the future? Definitely more Meerkats videos, building Toronto videos. I'll probably make more tutorial videos here and there. Maybe another building blocks one, like the chisel bookshelf. I was actually invited to take part in a couple different like elimination type series, like the life series, kind of like that. But those always seem to fall apart. Like people can't agree on what the rules are going to be. So anyway, that just like hasn't happened. Actually, honestly, what I should start working on is YouTube Shorts. Everyone keeps telling me how great they are for helping their channel reach new people. I'm not on TikTok or anything, and I don't really watch YouTube Shorts, so I don't really know how to approach them. Like, what's the vibe? Like, what should I do? I guess, like, I could always just do, like, clips of my videos. That feels maybe a little lazy. I don't know. Like, it just seems like whenever I do look at shorts, it's just someone doing Minecraft parkour while reading out problematic Reddit posts or something. And, yeah, I'm not good at parkour, so, yeah, anyway, next question. What do you do IRL for fun? I do all sorts, actually. I really love to dabble, try new things. I actually have this friend who like refuses to do the same thing twice. So we've done a million things exactly once. Like we'll go rock climbing, like wine tasting, various hiking trails, caving, like film festivals. We went to a movie premiere once. I don't know how they got tickets, but anyway. Art festivals. We did the trapeze once, like in the circus when you like swing from a bar and do flips and stuff. I don't know. Like I never really know what to expect. It's always just a fun time, and we'll go and try something new. This is also probably the first like era of my life where I haven't been in some kind of like band or choir. I think making my own music for these videos kind of fills that gap, and I mean I still play a lot of piano, and I guess like I guess because I've been doing a lot of singing with the other Meerkats in recent years, so like technically I'm still in a choir. But yeah, like we don't meet every week or anything. But for sports, I love being on the water, so swimming, sailing, canoeing, kayaking, water skiing, stuff like that. In the winter, I do a lot of ice skating. I guess technically that's still a water sport. But yeah, like I was actually a pretty good figure skater back in high school. Um, yeah. Next question. What projects are you currently working on? Um, Most of what I work on ends up in a video, so there's probably nothing I haven't already mentioned uh, on my channel, or that I can mention without spoiling a future video. Um, Behind the scenes, I build stuff for Nice sometimes. Nice name, like a hydroelectric dam one time, or the occasional castle. I don't know. He'll just be like, "Hey, I need a palace," and I'll be like, "All right, here." Something you may not realize, by the way, is like the builds you see in my videos are made almost entirely out of sequence. If you follow the series, it probably seems like I build one thing start to finish, then the next thing start to finish, and so on. But actually, I've usually got like 3 or 4 builds going on at once, and like I'll just hop back and forth between them. I also sometimes wait a long time before putting a build in a video. For example, the Arcadia entrance gates from episode 10. I'm pretty sure that design has been sitting in my creative test world for years. Like I think I designed that before I'd even finished my chateau base. But yeah, so like I record all my builds as I'm making them, but then I'll only put them in a video once it makes sense to do that. So like a banner build is gonna wait until I do a banner video. Boat builds are gonna go in the harbor episode, like that kind of stuff. What are some things about Toronto that most people would never know? I guess, well, I guess if you stick around my channel long enough, you'll probably learn everything there is to know. Yeah, like when I was making Meerkats episode 2, I included this line where I was like, I live in Canada, home of the Java programming language. And one of my sisters was like, oh, that's hilarious. You should try to do that in every episode. And so yeah, every single Meerkats video, I've crowbarred in a few new facts about Canada. And yeah, like obviously the Building Toronto videos are jam full of Toronto trivia as well. So yeah, if there's something to know about Toronto, you'll probably find out in my videos. But to like properly answer the question, what do most people not know? They film everything here. Like sometimes I'll just be walking down the street at night and like the Batmobile will go by. I think there's like tax incentives for filming here. Like it's cheaper for movie companies to film in Toronto than in most US cities. And it helps probably that Toronto looks quite a lot like most US cities. So yeah, I bet people probably don't realize just how much they've seen Toronto already without knowing it. Like in a movie about New York or Gotham or Chicago or something. Another thing people probably don't know about Toronto is it's really far south in the world. I think a lot of people associate Canada with cold winters. And I mean, Canada stretches all the way up to the North Pole. And even down here in Toronto, we get very cold and snowy winters. But we also get really hot tropical summers. Toronto's actually on the same exact latitude as Florence in Italy. Kind of a related fact, we also have something here called the Path, which is like this entire second city, but it's underground. Like we have our surface city, and then we have basically, it's like the back rooms, I guess, but like less creepy. I mean, maybe if you go at night and everything's shut, it's really creepy, but it feels like it's like walking through an endless shopping mall, like shops and kiosks and like fountains and escalators and stuff. But yeah, when it's like minus 40 outside in the winter, or like plus 40 Celsius in the summer, or even it's just like raining or something, you can walk anywhere you need to in the whole city through the Path underground, where it's air conditioned and heated and dry. What are the best food spots in Toronto? I am not the right person to answer this. I am not a foodie at all. I appreciate foodies. Like I get how cooking can be an art and stuff, but I don't experience food in any kind of meaningful way. Like I eat to survive. What I describe as a good meal is one that makes me full without draining my bank account. Um, Toronto is pretty famous for its cuisine, though. I'm really spoiled for choice here. Like it's really wasted on me. Because yeah, like Toronto is literally, for those that don't know, like it's the most diverse city on the planet. And that's not just like a demographics thing as well. Like people really bring their cultures with them when they move here. So visiting Toronto, it's kind of like visiting the whole world at once. So like if there's a meal that's made somewhere out there in the world, you can get it here too. I guess that's something pretty unique about the city, actually, because like if you went on holiday to Italy, you know, you'd go out and you'd try and eat the world's best pasta. Like tourists in Japan, they'd go out and taste the world's best sushi or whatever. But yeah, like in Toronto, tourists don't dine out on like, you know, world-class Canadian meals. Like they come here and then they'll dine on like the world's best, yeah, like pasta and sushi. I I honestly don't want to answer this because I really don't think I'm qualified to make judgments on food. But I will say, I guess like a tip, one big mistake I think tourists make when they visit Toronto is they'll order poutine at some like fancy sit-down restaurant. Even poutineries like Smokes often like don't get it right. New York Fries does pretty good poutine, I guess. But yeah, like the problem is it's more of like a situational food than a meal. Like hot dogs or like popcorn is like a movie snack. Like you wouldn't sit down at a restaurant with a knife and fork and eat popcorn. So yeah, like with poutine, I don't know, how do I put it? Like, the best poutine is always going to be from like a food truck at 2 a.m. on your way home from the club. I don't know, maybe that's a hot take. Any Canadians watching, feel free to argue that out in the comments. I mean, honestly, if you want good poutine, don't go to Toronto, go to Montreal. But anyway, top 5 favorite Toronto buildings and why. Number 1, easy, CN Tower. It's iconic, record-breaking. It was the tallest. It was the tallest tower in the world for a long time. It gives the city great cell service, and it's named after trains, just like me. Number 2 is the Royal York. Rich history, stunning interior. I actually used the pool and the ballroom from the Royal York as a heavy inspiration for my Meerkats base interior. Casa Loma, I want to say. If you picture like a stereotypical castle on top of like a rocky crag, like that's Casa Loma. I used to live near there, and they did loads of really cool events. Like they had these like Roaring 20s jazz parties. They had haunted houses. Those were really good. Escape rooms, stuff like that. Con Hall, Convocation Hall. That was my number 4. University of Toronto. That's where I graduated. It's where I said my engineering oath and I got my iron ring. It's also where I met a lot of my friends. I got to attend a Stephen Hawking lecture in there once. That was pretty cool. One more. Number 5 is the Goodrum and Warts Distillery District Complex. I don't know what it's called properly, but it's a really good example of Toronto's deep red brick buildings. And I actually recreated it for my Potion Brewery building next to my chateau. Yeah, I mean, let's be clear, like, those aren't my canonical top 5. There's so many other cool buildings running through my head. Like Crystal, OCAD, Terrence Donnelly, I always liked. But yeah, those were 5 good ones that instantly came to mind. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Alpine. Those were great questions. All right, who's next? All right, we've got Connor up next, another Meerkat. Connor asks, were you always such a storyteller even before pursuing engineering? No, definitely not. I've always been a fan of other people's stories, like books, songs, paintings, plays, memes, especially films, because films are basically all of those other things put together. I wouldn't call myself an expert on films or anything, but I definitely love watching them. You might have noticed there's a lot of film references in my Meerkats videos. But yeah, I never tried making stories of my own until pretty long after I graduated engineering. Did you consider pursuing a creative degree instead of engineering? If given the choice, again, would you? This corner coming up, I always take damage. What is that? Is it suffocation or something? Anyway. Oh, right, yeah. So, no, I can't say I ever considered pursuing a creative degree. If I did, it would have been music for sure. Actually, it's so funny. It's just like unlocked this memory at my high school graduation. I remember loads of my friends' parents were like, what? Engineering, not music? And, that really confused me at the time. But in retrospect, I can totally see why they thought that, because I was in like every possible band and choir. And I even like arranged sheet music for the bands that I couldn't play in. And I played like a different instrument in every band as well. So like piano, drums, percussion, clarinet, singing, even guitar a couple times. I don't know, there was so many, but yeah, like for every instrument I could play, there's always someone else who could play that instrument better than me. And the way that music is like taught and graded, at least here, you don't really get points for being an all-rounder. You have to be the master of one specific instrument. And I'm a pretty fair piano player. I got my RCM 10, if that means anything to someone watching. But yeah, I always wanted to do my own thing with music and kind of dabble. So that didn't really translate to good grades. Actually, for most of my childhood and for my teenage years, engineering wasn't really on my radar either. I always really wanted to be a vet, and I even volunteered at a vet practice for a short time in high school, and it was so cool. And there was this moment where I just helped remove a tumor from a dog, and I was looking at this tumor sitting on this like metal dish on a side table, and I was just thinking to myself, like, this is the best and coolest thing I've ever done. And right in that moment, that dog that like we'd operated on was starting to wake up from the anesthetics, and it was really confused, and it was uncomfortable and scared, and it was just sobbing, like just bawling its eyes out. And I was staring at this tumor still, listening to this like scared dog crying, and it was just like this overwhelming conflict of like all the pride that I would have gotten from that career with like all the heartbreak I would have gotten from that career. And I was like, the heartbreak hurts me more than like it should if I was gonna be able to do this for like, full time. Yeah, it was just like a lot to handle, and I was not expecting this Q&A to be so introspective. I got super off topic. What was the question? Right, so yeah, after I stopped wanting to be a vet, I honestly didn't really know what I wanted to do. Going into engineering didn't even really feel like a choice I was making. Like, not that I was forced into it or anything. I just mean like, I happened to enjoy math and science class, and I figured an engineering degree would let me keep taking those for a few more years and, buy me more time to figure out what I actually wanted to do with my life. And taking engineering also didn't stop me from pursuing music as extracurriculars. So I was still in, bands and choirs and stuff. If I could go back, I do think I would have been just as happy if I'd gone into music. I don't know. I think there's probably a parallel universe where Dingy is a sound engineer, living his best life. Okay, wow. Sorry, the answer was way too long. I'll try and be quick for the next ones. All right, who's next? Nice name. My favorite geologist. Obviously, if you aren't familiar with his channel, go check out his videos, but let's be real. Statistically speaking, you probably found me through him. Yeah, Nice wants to know, when did you start playing Minecraft? Well, I started playing Minecraft in 2014. One of my college roommates invited me to download Minecraft and join his family's private server. And I did, and I was instantly hooked. It was a problem. Nice also asks, when did you decide to try and make things look good? Was it from the start, or how did you play? Basically the start. I think I was always more of a builder than an adventurer, for sure. And from day one, I definitely tried to make things look good. I can't say that I always succeeded at that for the first little bit, but yeah, when did you realize that you were talented in building? Oh my god, stop. And did it take practice to get to that point? I think I always thought I was a talented builder, even before that was true. I definitely had good instincts at first. I think I got a head start from Lego, though. I played with Lego a lot as a kid, and I grew up like literally next door to a Lego Land in the UK, and yeah, I will say it definitely wasn't until more recently that I got the hang of interiors, though. And I think I'm still getting better. Like, there's still a lot I want to get better at. Do you see your building as an extension of engineering or some other skill like drawing, painting, or sculpture? I think both. I pretty frequently use my engineering knowledge to determine what I'm going to build and how to lay it out, and like where the columns need to be, what materials to build out of. But then I definitely think there's an element of artistry to, like, if it needs to look like concrete, then I shouldn't use what the game calls concrete. I should use block colors and textures to like paint it. So, like, I don't know. I do think it's like, instead of oil on canvas, it's like blocks on server. I actually think that my biggest secret talent in this game, though, that hasn't really come up, is I've got this like encyclopedic knowledge of every single shape and texture of every block and block state. So whenever I'm building something, I already have the image in my mind of what I want to make. And I'll just be like, okay, that needs to be an open acacia gate in front of a smithing table or something. I guess that's another thing that helps. I've got a very good, like, visual... No, don't do it. It's very rude. Let's see, can I just, like, push past, maybe? Please, no. Okay, one sec. Yeah, so what was I saying? What other builders do you admire, if any? This is that's a hard one to answer because this is very long. B-Dubs is up there for sure. I've learned a lot from pretty much everyone I've played with, honestly. You know what? Someone specific who actually influenced my build style a lot is Crafty Fox. That's with an E at the end of Fox, I think. Yeah, I came across their builds a long time ago on Planet Minecraft. They were doing like recreations of specific train models and just like traffic lights and highway ramps and power lines and stuff. And like, not super exciting builds, but they'd captured this realism quality that I'd never seen before in a Minecraft build. And yeah, it had a really big impact on the way that I saw the game and what was possible in it. What or when was the point that you started... one sec. Just got some water. Sorry, I can't cut that out. There's no edits today. Yeah, what or when was the point that made you want to start sharing your builds on YouTube? That's a good question. That's absolutely the Lazy River video. So, Lazy Rivers are straight up like the only reason I have a YouTube channel at all. I worked out how to make them so many years ago. It was around when like 1.16 came out, and I assumed, you know, if I could figure this out for myself, then surely like everyone already knows about it, because I was always like behind the times with everything. But yeah, and then years later, I joined my first public multiplayer worlds, and I built one, and everyone was like, "What? I've never seen that." And yeah, like genuinely, it really stressed me out because they're so much fun, and yeah, they give me a lot of enjoyment, and I was like, the people need to know. And so I kept like scouring the internet, like every few months, and I would like see if someone had figured it out and made a video and like spread the word. But yeah, no one ever did. So I was like, I guess I have to do it myself. And I set up a YouTube channel. I then quite quickly discovered that my computer was too old and terrible to run OBS or replay mod. So I couldn't make a Lazy River video or any videos for a long time. So my channel just kind of sat there. And then in that time, I kind of convinced myself as well that like no one's first video is a good video. And I wanted to get the Lazy River video right. So I decided I'd start the Meerkats series just to like practice making videos and like learn how to make videos. And then once I was like confident enough, I'd make a Lazy River video. And then I like accidentally enjoyed making Meerkats, so I've stuck with it. But yeah, when I finally did make that Lazy River video, it ended up doing really well and reaching loads of people, which made me really happy. It reached tons of people on Reddit as well. It's still by a mile my most viewed video, and it's probably going to stay that way forever because it's been, I think, like 3 years since it came out, and it still gets so many regular views like every day that even when I upload a new video, my like last 48 hours of like view count, it's usually my Lazy River video is still usually at the top. I know that the video did reach good times with Scar, because in his streams he talked a lot about plans to incorporate a Lazy River in his Season 9 Scarline project. But I guess he ran out of time. I'm really hoping someday that he does build that on Hermitcraft, because like once it's on Hermitcraft, then like it's official. Everyone knows about it, you know, and I can sleep easy. But yeah. Reword any of those as you see fit. Okay, yeah, now those are the words of a professional, ladies and gentlemen. Who's next? Gamefruit Pulp, another great YouTuber, and yeah, fearless leader of the Building Toronto project. By the way, I should say, like, I didn't purposefully select just YouTubers and like Meerkats for these Q&As. I asked everyone on my Discord to submit questions, and these were just the only people who did. All right, yeah, so Gamefruit Pulp asks, what is your favorite build that you didn't participate in? Favorite with a U, as it should be. Ooh, this is a hard one, though. There's so many. There's a lot of Building Toronto builds that are running through my head. But I think, thinking outside my radar, though, I'd say the Uncensored Library. Because, like, first of all, insane build, like, so cool, and I feel like that aspect gets overlooked a little bit. But like, just like the premise of it is so like heartwarming. For those that don't know about it, basically there's a lot of countries in the world, including Western ones, that censor information from their citizens to varying degrees. Sometimes dangerous stuff not to know about, you know, like how to protect yourself. And anyway, this one group figured out that Minecrafters in all those countries can still play on public servers. So even if the information is banned in libraries and on websites, they can still log into the Uncensored Library server and read Book and Quill recreations of all that censored knowledge. And yeah, so I visited the server during the pandemic, and I remember wishing I could have contributed to it in some way. I mean, maybe I still can. I think it's still active. So, yeah, that's my favorite build I didn't help with. Game for Pope also asks, what's the favorite build you have helped with or done? Well, massive spoiler alert for episode 3 of my Building Toronto series, but yeah, that's got to be the CN Tower. I won't say much because you'll learn plenty about that build and that tower from the video when it comes out. This might not make sense to you guys yet, but Building Toronto episode 3 includes some real world footage of me earning a Guinness World Record, and for me that was like yesterday. So I won't lie, I'm still a little wired on adrenaline. Whoa, that almost got me. That was a close one. As long as they don't hit the minecart. All right, we've got one last question. This is from, let me check. Okay, yeah, this is from literally everyone. Alpine says, how's that next video coming along? Flaming Moai says, new episode when? Game for Pulp, new video when? Chiefs, it's been 150 days since your last upload. Literally YouTube, and I'm paraphrasing, but not by much. It's been 480 days since your last upload. You have to post videos to help keep people. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying. And you know what? I'm just gonna. Okay, I gotta. Is that oh my goodness, that spider's so fast. Yeah. Let me just sleep through the night. So, as I was saying, yeah, I am aware that it takes me a long time. Some may say too long to make videos. A big part of that is simply that I don't have a lot of free time. I work a full-time day job, and my evenings and weekends are shared with, like, you know, chores, seeing friends, constantly having to move apartment because Toronto's rental market is unregulated. But yeah, like, earnestly, I really do want to be able to upload more consistently and more often. Oh no, is this big in the way? No. Okay. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, no, no, no! Come back! No. It's gonna be, I'm gonna have to find it. Can I get it? Okay, well, I got the sheep, but I'm gonna have to go clean that up later. I'm prepared for this. I brought iron. I could make a new cart. So, where were we? Yeah, lately I've been doing a lot to improve my setup, like switching to better mods and better editing software, which is already helping me make videos quicker. Branching out into more series, like the Building Toronto, I'm also hoping that helps with uploads frequency as well, because I can be planning out one series while recording the other. I will warn you, the Meerkats episode releases specifically probably aren't going to get that much more reliable anytime soon. Like, that doesn't mean they're all going to take ages to come out. You might get 2 in a single week. You might get like 1 in a year. I can't predict which one it's going to be until I make them. The main reason for that is, like, I purposefully don't set myself deadlines for the Meerkats videos. I do think setting yourself deadlines can positively impact content, at least in certain circumstances. And, you know, I'm open to doing that for some of my other videos and series. But for the Meerkats series, I already can't wait to show you guys my idea for each video. So it's not like a deadline would motivate me to work any quicker. And my main goal is to make those videos as good as I can. So I don't want to find that I have to abandon plans for like barbershop quartets or steamboat races so that I can upload by like some arbitrary date. So yeah, like if the toughest part of my video idea is taming a strider and bringing it up to the shopping district, then you'll only have to wait like 2 weeks for it. But if my idea involves, you know, an intensely choreographed zombie battle, then it might be a hot minute. So yeah, when Edie messages and says, you know, how close are you to finishing your video? Or, so when is your video going public? Or, Are you working on your current video today? What's the plan for release? When are you making your video public? Release the full video, please. And your video on YouTube when? Yeah, I never really know the answer. But you can rest assured, I'll always be working on something. You'll see it as soon as I can finish it. And it'll be the best version of that idea that I could put together. Well, that's it for the questions I was asked. I do have a couple questions for you. The first is, what should my next subscriber milestone be? Because, you know, I'm not against the idea of celebrating a more conventional number, but I do think it would be cool to stick to the idea of doing Minecraft-related numbers. So, like the number of gold nuggets you can make from a double chest of blocks or something like that. It could even be specific to like my own stats, like, you know, maybe my sub count overtakes the distance I've traveled by rail, or I don't know, something more realistic. But yeah, you know what I mean. Regardless of what my next milestone is, though, I will need more subscribers to reach it, and that brings me to my second question. What am I supposed to do for my thumbnails? I can't count the number of times a stranger has gone out of their way to find me and DM me on Discord or Reddit or something to be like, hey, Dingy, you know, enjoyed your video. I thought you should know that no one's ever going to see it because the thumbnail is trash. And, I mean, listen, it takes me months to squeeze and condense one single video idea into like 40 minutes of runtime. And if I could make it shorter, it would be shorter. There's literally no room to breathe in that final edit. And when I say literally, I mean like I cut out my breaths for time. And so this might even be the first Meerkats video where you can hear me breathing. And every single time I finally manage it, YouTube has the audacity to tell me, okay, now I need you to squash that entire 40-minute video into a single image that's the size of a postal stamp while still being identifiable from a mile away, that tells everyone exactly what's in your video without spoiling anything in your video, and it stands out while also looking like everyone else's thumbnails, and also has to be clickable. What does clickable even mean? Ugh. So, okay, am I trying my best to make good thumbnails? Absolutely. But my best is very bad. And, yeah, I don't think they're good. You don't think they're good. YouTube has started giving me this passive-aggressive helpful hints like, people aren't choosing to watch this video as often. Changing the title or thumbnail could attract more viewers. But change it to what, though? I'm begging you, like, specifically you, the person watching this right now, please share any thumbnail advice you have. So, old videos, new videos, it doesn't matter. Just let me know, what am I doing well? What am I doing badly? Like, specifically, what other channels could I check out that make good thumbnails? Anything you can think of that might help. Same goes for video titles as well. Because yeah, based on the amount of sass I've been getting from the algorithm pretty consistently, if I don't up my thumbnail game soon, it's gonna stop sending my videos to new viewers, and this will have been the very first and last subscriber special. No pressure though. All right, well, this was actually pretty fun. Well, it was fun for me. I don't think I've ever ridden the entire network in one go like that before, and yeah, it's weird because I guess in my head I've always thought of the subway as a work in progress. Like, I'm always focused on the 30 stations that are still on my list to build. So this really made me appreciate how much work has already gone into it. Plus, you guys submitted some great questions. This was basically a free hour of therapy for me. You might be in shock from hearing me breathe for the first time, and I'm sure Editing Dingy is not going to be thrilled about the runtime. Oh, yep, there's the lights flickering. I think he wants me to wrap up. I'll try to be fast. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I literally thought it would just be Edie and my mom watching these, only one of them willingly. So it's meant the world that you guys put your trust in me and came along for the... Oh, okay, yeah, I'm getting played off. Came along for the ride. If you can physically stand to hear me answer any more questions, check out next month's installment of Last Month in the Worlds of Minecraft on JoJo and Aloha's channel. That's the September 2025 show. Be sure to check out Edie, Zoe, Game for Pulp, Alpine, Nice. Sorry I'm forgetting someone. They make great videos, but they're also great people, and you know, the support they've given has helped keep this channel alive. I've loved reading your kind comments. I actually get like social anxiety where I want to heart literally every single one, but a voice in my head is like, Dingy, don't be weird. But I really do love all of them. I'll see you soon with more videos, more Meerkats, more Toronto, more adventures, more dance parties maybe. We'll see. Yeah, and help me with the thumbnails. Love you. Bye.